So I don't think they were ready for LG's team comp between the Bangalore Smoke and the Bloodhound scans.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's a good reminder, too. Team Liquid stole the show on Stormpoint last Pro League day. They dominated, won 2 out of 3. But when it came to World's Edge, they couldn't close it out. TSM ended up winning the overall day of competition. So will that happen again here? They're always very good on Stormpoint. We'll see how their World's Edge is in games 4 through 6. But I also love, as we take a look at the overhead map, the top right of this overhead map, Sentinels. I love how we actually tracked their entire journey. We started with them early in the game. Obviously, it's a big story highlighting them in 28th place in Pro League right now, and we watched them get their 13-kill, third place finish, a really, really solid showing from Sentinels. I'm glad we were able to catch that last game as well, Vicky.
Yeah, it's nice to see also the difference in just the different compositions that we've also been able to see. No crypto like we saw in the EMEA region. I mean, rather, there was just, what, one or two cryptos in just 1 or 2 teams in general that were rocking the crypto. But compared to what we saw in the EMEA region, we saw a dominating lobby of just cryptos. Lots of Seers still being played out. And now we get to see where this next circle is going to be pulling. It's going to be pulling towards 100 Thieves, who had a bit of a lackluster performance, getting just hailed down upon by a bunch of these grenades coming in from Space Station. Now they're going to be able to hang out in Command Center. Complexity, though, in trouble. We tuned into that the moment that they dropped. It was Space Station Gaming that actually had gotten Monsoon. So Complexity having an actual rough start to this game.
Yeah, you heard all we heard was the worst sound in all video games. The gong of getting taken out and your banner getting eliminated. Monsoon out early, and that's interesting. I don't know if Space Station actually ran a trick strat there, much like we saw. I can't remember what team it was that kept running trick strats in the northeast side of the map. I think it was BR Demons or someone else. But nonetheless, Space Station maybe knew that Complexity dropped there and said, let's just get this easy kill point. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but Space Station normally drops Launchpad. They instead drop a little bit west and north of Launchpad and get the kill over Monsoon.
Actually insane right here. Complexity, as you can see right now, as that score is going to be updated in real time. Number 8 overall with 4 points right now after that first game. You can see them rotating. They weren't able to get the banner just yet, but that's what they're doing right now. They're on the way to see if they could possibly get it. See the beacon also right there. See if Lux is going to be able to get that scan before Complexity make their next move.
Yeah, and Shiny will be able to get this banner uncontested. Playing it slow just to be safe. Space Station's nearby, but not necessarily in the building or in the vicinity here. And Monsoon also helped that he got taken out in a good spot. If you're going to die early, if you're going to die in general in Apex, especially my ranked teammates, this is a message to all of you. Please die in a place that is retrievable of your banner, not in the middle of the open.
Yeah.
Halfway through Jurassic Park, please. It looks like Complexity will get this res. But Space Station will hear it. A couple other teams will hear it nearby as well, and we'll see if they decide to ape in third party or if they let things be. We'll be back to a full 60 in this lobby overall.
We're gonna have to see, because I know the guard makes a rotation around here too. There is a beacon to the north of Complexity, so you can expect this side to get hot real quick. See Complexity just taking their time as we take a look at Space Station, who are just making their way after taking out Monsoon. Drop just scanning right behind them real quick with the heartbeat sensor. But they're gonna be able to wrap around from the low to high ground here of the launch pad, so that way they're going to be able to get to the other side. There's another beacon to the right of Complexity like we mentioned before, so if anything they can also get that next set of information for the next circle.
Yeah, that's right. Although he switched over to Space Station, I was wondering if they would be the one squad that would decide to ape or third party Complexity, but nope. Complexity will be back to full force. All teams reset here. And another early game quiet start in this lobby on Stormpoint. No contests. We've had some exciting ones here in North America. We've had a big fight over in Barometer. We've had some fights over in Lightning Rod. We saw Tripods versus Sentinels on World's Edge, which was obviously a blast to watch, but this time around will not be the case. Things are starting to neutralize a little bit. And that's one thing that's kind of cool about the Pro League format, Vicky, is, two things. One, different groups obviously have different drop spots, and you're going to have to adjust to your play style depending on who you're playing. But then two, over time of the Pro League, things kind of settle. Things neutralize a little bit, and you see a lot less of these initial fights because people start to realize who's dropping where.
Yeah, especially because of how risky those 50-50s earlier on are, too. Because when you want to build up at least a lead, you want to make sure you do it in the first initial games on Stormpoint before you feel like you're scrambling for last-minute points on World's Edge for Game 4 through 6. So we take a look at Dark Zero, one of our other squads that we were highlighting in the pre-show right now. Going to be hanging out on the outskirts of Bunker. They are literally painting the map right now with Sharky's Watson fences. And they're not going to be leaving from this spot, too, because they're on the north side of this map. They can try to negate any sort of rotation from any of the squads that want to get into Command Center that land by the wall.
Yeah, and if we could actually pull up that overhead map, I'd love to take a look here at this zone where it's pulling and where teams are settling, and kind of walk through and maybe explain to some of the viewers who are maybe newer to competitive Apex why teams are doing what they're doing. And thank you so much for that. So taking a look at the top left there, you'll see it's a zone that is pulling central but slightly north. Teams are predicting that northern pull, and ultimately a team like 100 Thieves, who dropped Command Center, opted to take the upstairs area of Command Center with the choke point that leads up to High Point, and that's going to be their position. It's one of the best and most fortified positions, especially with that 100 Thieves team composition of Newcastle and Crypto. Meanwhile, and Watson. Meanwhile, Dark Zero drops in Stormcatcher, so that's why you saw them as one of the best positioned teams. They're able to rotate quick, and same with Team Liquid. All the teams that drop in the center of the map really profited with this central zone, Vicky.
Yeah, that, and sometimes when you have the beacon and Stormcatcher, Dark Zero was able to call out where the circle was going to be pulling originally because they had that information. So it's great on them to be able to actually contest on this side of Command Center, because this also leads them in a position where they're least likely to get contested by other squads, where they're least likely to get sandwiched by other teams in the middle of their own rotate, in case the circle continuously pulls more towards the south in between Stormcatcher and Command Center.
Yeah, and then one last thing as we have this up, I'm going to draw your eyes to the west of the map where you see FaZe and Rack Attack in zone right now. Well, these are edge fighting teams. FaZe running Bangalore and Alberlelli means that they're going to opt to play edge and take their fights much more than they're going to opt to play early rotate, which is why you see these teams like CLG, Oxygen, FaZe, Rack Attack, and others still in zone. It's obviously going to be a really tough fight. CLG versus Oxygen find themselves in a deep, deep skirmish all the way in Cenote Cave, Vicky.
I'm mostly concerned of the squads that are going to be playing on the edge of this circle, who are already in that next circle, and are going to basically see all these squads fighting outside of the circle as an early Christmas morning for them. All the free KP for them to actually contest. Like the likes of G2, who are actually been playing on the edge of the circle so far. They're also going to have Beacon once they get to Jurassic Park. But as we take a look at Luminosity, they're just emoting, you know? They're just having some fun. They're going to take their time as we tune into Space Station, who are doing some other things. A lot of these squads are just trying to situate themselves in terms of loot. They're not the ones walking the logo like we have seen from Team Liquid that like to get to that final circle positioning where they aren't, you know, granted the loot that they need from the black market. So some of these squads are already making the rotation, though. Complexity with the Skyward Dive, not rocking the best shields, and Shining falling incredibly low. He falls from the sky. Nothing to save him as Complexity passed 3 other teams.
Monsoon gonna be knocked as well, and Complexity has just been an absolute shambles all game long. It'll continue here. Skittlecake's gonna get the knock on Monsoon. Optic is gonna profit. There'll be 2 KP picked up for Optic. The boys in green showing some life here in game 2.
Optic Gaming, they needed this, and they basically turn around when it comes to the position that Complexity is in right now. That's kind of the similar situation that Optic Gaming was in game number 1. Now they're trying to scoop up as much KP as they possibly can. They could try to finish them off. 20 squads still alive in this lobby. Optic Gaming, though, have the Rampage in the hands of Skittlecake, so they do have one of those created weapons in their favor.
Yeah, revved up as well for Skittle. They currently find themselves as the kings of the hill. Top of the hill right now with a couple teams right below them. Complexity, the last rat, is nearby. The Guard, Bots, and MPS find themselves in a fight. We're going to jump to that fight. Here we go. Jalone's going to be knocked early. The New Yorker collegiate baseball player. Now it's going to be Shuby and Madness, though, that find themselves in a 2v2. We know that the Guard is also in the vicinity. Here comes the flank. Madness going to fry, and just like that, the Bots eliminated from this lobby. Madness now in a 1v3 against the Guard. Good luck, my friend.
Yeah, the Guard now coming in for the third party. Great timing. Madness, though, can he do it himself? The Guard fall incredibly low. It's only up to Kaon. He can pop up the shield back if he finally manages to find his way out in the outskirts of this building, and he does manage to pop it. Is he going to be able to fully reset? Madness also reset with a quick shield swap. He's got the purple evil, and he got the res. Yeah,
and surely Keon got that intel, right? Surely he heard the res came through. Obviously, res pop out early. Newcastle reses will help, and Keon's not going to have to reset. So Madness in a 1v2 pops off, makes it a 1v1. And obviously the Guard was damaged quite a bit in that 3-way fight. Bots clearly left their mark, but MPS showing up with 11 points to their name right now. I'm like what I'm seeing from this roster with Shuby on it.
And sending the Guard packing, literally. Running away. Hopefully we're going to see if that rat manages to get out of the way. MPS now fully stabilized, fully being able to reset. No other squad to contest, even though that fight did take a little bit of time, surprisingly. I was expecting maybe a squad coming in from Cascade Falls, since it's on the other side of that rock to their left.
Yeah, we did earlier when we saw the map, we did see CLG and Oxygen in Cenote Cave. Curious to see what's going on with that, if we could take a look at the map one more time. Or nonetheless, I'm not sure what's going on with that fight, but just keep an eye on that, keep a close understanding. That fight did go through. Rack Attack made their rotate. FaZe going to also have rotated. Surely we saw them on the Trident. And now we find CLG in zone. Here we go. So CLG was able to make it out. Oxygen still alive as well. Looks like both teams decided not to fight. Here's our team running Catalyst. it's going to be Mamba rocking Catalyst.
Very interesting to see how the Catalyst has been a playmaker for some of these squads. I believe this is the only Catalyst that we have in the lobby right now, so CLG just trying to take a unique approach to maybe a different composition. Very similar to kind of what we saw from Fuse, you know? We saw Fuse being utilized back in playoffs in Sweden. We saw the Mad Maggie being used up as well by one of our squads. It's always very interesting to see. I mean, of course, Furia obviously with the Seer, when we didn't really get to see Seer very often in competitive Apex. And this is where it all starts here. Space Station going to be able to make their rotation with the Seer, the Bangalore as well. They're going to have that information. It's kind of a very different page than what we usually see from Luminosity. Instead of the Bloodhound, it's just going to be the Seer and Bangalore instead.
Yeah, that's right. A couple differences between EMEA and North American meta as it currently stands. You see a lot more Loba in North America, a lot less crypto in North America. You saw, I think, 5-6 teams running crypto. In EMEA, just 2 today. It's going to be first attempts, as well as the Guard, of course, who's been running crypto for the entirety of Pro League, been finding a lot of success doing so. And you see a little bit more Bangalore. We have 4 Bangalore teams right now, Frex is included.
It was interesting to see how the different type of composition also all affects the pace of the game. You can see Space Station making the rotation uphill. Skyward dive from the Guard, though, as Keon is still alive as a solo. He's passing so many teams, but he's going uphill, so he won't be able to get as much distance as he really wants. He's unable to also get the banners from the rest of his teammates, so he's just forced to play as a rat the entire time, if he can even get away.
Yeah, I guess who finds him? It's going to be G2, the Exterminators, right now. They're going to find last member of the Guard, Keon. He's going to be down to flesh, but will escape, barely, like a mosquito. Keon flaps his wings and will survive for now, as G2 is going to continue to rotate up, play an edge. Keep an eye on Keon and his journey as he's just trying to find a way in, trying to find a way to survive. Meanwhile, I want to point out, so many teams outside of zone right now. We have Complexity, we have Rack Attack, CLG, MPS, Slept-On, G2, 100 Thieves, and Sentinels, as well as NRG, but barely, all outside of zone. This is going to be a tough rotation for them as Keon's journey finally comes to an end.
Yeah, and FaZe, a lot of teams playing on the outskirts of the circle. As Guard finally get eliminated, it's going to be Keon out. FaZe get taken out as well, as CLG and FPS fully engaged on each other. We're tuning into the fight right now. You can see FPS do have the high ground. Here comes that Catalyst wall that we also got to see here from CLG. They're playing right behind it, so MPS doesn't really have the line of sight that they desire.
That's right. It's MPS, it's CLG, and Rack Attack, all within the vicinity. Another 3-way fight. Last time, MPS barely got away. Certainly not unscathed. They were able to get back to full, and right now they need to be careful because they recognize the third party's there. They make the call. Madness says, hey, back out, reset, play this slow, play this smart.
That's going to be Rack Attack right now, moving in from the high ground. MPS having to play off the low ground and off of the natural cover of these rocks. Where are they going to go? They have the Skyward Dive, but Pow Pow gets eliminated from the high ground. That's right behind them. That's still CLG that have their number right now. They're playing off the back end as FPS needs to get away. They need to be able to get out of this line of sight of Rack Attack, or they're going to get sandwiched.
Madness finds himself a little crevice, a little rat spot to heal back up. Medkit's going to be popped. Meanwhile, Shuby doesn't have the same luck. He is in zone healing up. CLG lost Dimmy. Mamba's still alive. They have the Catalyst utility to their name if they would like it. And guess what? Right by is Rack Attack. I don't know how many members of Rack Attack are alive right now, but I think all teams have a casualty.
Yeah, they got a knock right here, too. The fact that CLG was able to split their attention to MPS and then Rack Attack and still stay alive, look at the way that Nano is playing off of this rock. And he's limited ammo, too. He gets the fry, the 84, but he loses out on his shield. He needs to pop the shield battery while Mamba helps cover him.
That's right. What a fight. This has had multiple phases to this fight. And guess what? Phase number 3, the last phase, is going to be, well, I think this squad, CLG, backing out, resetting, and giving Bowser a chance to heal up. But as I say that, though, CLG gets some damage in. And they know the zone's closing in on them. That's why they don't want to mess with this. And yes, that's going to be the end of this fight, the skirmish. They're going to have to say goodbye to their teammate. May you rest in peace, buddy, as Bowser and Impulse make their rotate through. CLG, Valkyrie, no more. They lose Dimmy on Valk, so they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way by walking.
Unfortunate right there, but with the Skyward Dive, they can at least count their blessings when it comes to G2. Yeah, G2 out of this lobby. MPS also on their last legs right here. Shuby playing around the underside of the bridge, so he gets the deletion, and Rack Attack get eliminated right in the line of sight of MPS. Shuby coming in clutch and cleaning up so much KP while he's at it.
Yeah, that's right. Shuby, kill leader with 3, but you wonder for how long. Last alive, he's in zone, and can he just rat like a troll under the bridge right now? Looks like he might be able to. We'll see for how long. Yeah, Resulta just got a kill on Jaguares, but G2 got taken out, so that was a late kill. So it looks like LG, despite taking out G2, had a casualty. They lose 1. LG not in a great spot. Optic in zone. First attempt took out FaZe Clan, I believe. So FaZe is out of this lobby as well. We talked a lot about them, the importance of them performing today. Not the best game number 2 as they'll get taken out. Yanya is going to be a rat last alive. A lot of rats in this game.
A lot of unfinished squads, and Optic Gaming have been on the high ground for a really long time. Wondering if they're going to be able to continuously clean up the rest of the lobby from the right side of where this circle is going to be pulling. Nizu falls down here too. Yanya is going to be able to help restabilize. Playing off this little crevice, though, it's about the information. You don't have a seer. You're not the last one remaining where you are a seer, so you don't have the information of anybody that's around in your corner.
Yeah, and Vicky, this is just a brutal zone. I mean, if you look at the spot west of Command Center, it's nothing but open land, not a whole lot of opportunity to get an early building and rotate fast. So that's why we've seen such a brutal lobby, to be honest, a bloodbath, so many rats at play. It's a tough place to rotate to. On that rotate, you're really exposed, you're really vulnerable. Obviously, you have the Valkyrie, but you're also working uphill. So the Valkyrie isn't enough necessarily. As Optic finds himself in zone, they find themselves finding an opportunity to find some more kill points along the way.
And not only that, too, this circle and where it's pulling, you can see half of it is on the mountain. So where Optic Gaming is on the high ground right here, yeah, they have the high ground. They're in a really great spot. But a lot of that real estate is already taken up inside of that circle. So they're just going to hang out on the high ground right here. They're just going to be able to overlook some of the stragglers that are coming in from the east side of the map, leaving Command Center. We do know that there's still so many teams on the outskirts of the circle that haven't really made their way into this next circle comfortably.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Shubi, the rat, got taken out, and it's Duplex and Optic on Seer that's going to find yet another rat. A rat for the team slept on is going to be called out. CLG is also ratting nearby, and Optic might get that intel as well. So Optic might be, speaking of exterminators, the ones that are just taking out every rat in the sewer. As 100 Thieves find themselves Valcolting them over their way, they're going to hug this mountain and try and find themselves Godspot late game. They've done pretty well. That Ascend did really, really well, and Emiya can 100 Thieves replicate that success.
Let's see, where are they going to land with the Skyward Dive? It could be tricky. Ooh, underneath the little crevice. Yes, I've been here before.
I didn't know this spot existed.
Deja vu. Yeah. This is actually a really good spot to go to, too, because like you mentioned before, there's so many openings for this final circle, as Dark Zero are going to fully engage on the next fight right here. They're coming from uphill, though, and this is going to be the green light for other squads in the area that are not in this next circle to get involved.
NRG out again in 12th. So here we go, another ALGS day, another slow start for NRG. Dark Zero, though, find themselves in a very difficult spot. Looks like some of them are in zone, but they're going to be getting gate kept quite a bit. There's so many teams nearby. Team Liquid, Space Station, Sentinels, and Dark Zero. All 4 teams within just a stone's throw away. And as I say that, Jen Burton last alive here. It looks like Team Liquid will be on top. All of them still alive, and only one team will survive. Who's going to be?
Let's see, Dark Zero now playing off the back end. It's just up to Sharky. Can he get the res? Team Liquid trying to go for a reset off to the other side here, too. Team Liquid finding this fight here, and Sentinels, not as a full squad, aren't even going to fully engage. Basically playing on the outskirts as Team Liquid are trying to clean up as much as they can. Dark Zero aren't going to be able to get the same luxury as Team Liquid were when it comes to resetting.
Oh, Fun down to just 5 HP, and it's a team to his left that are going to fly. It's going to be the last member of Sentinels. It's the Rat who's going to come through and rain on the day. What a play right now from Senox. Sykes versus Senox in a 1v1 here for the bread. Senox to 20 HP. He's going to get taken out. Sykes goes huge.
Sykes had no health. He had no health. He immediately diverts his attention to the next person that's coming in, and it's the full squad of Space Station up and alive to clean up Team Liquid, sending them to the lobby in 7th place.
That's right, SSG, the lone remaining team from that skirmish. Meanwhile, Luminosity still alive. Complexity and 100 Thieves in their rotation got taken out, I think, by Optic in the middle of that fight. So we have Optic Gaming, first attempt, Oxygen Esports, Team Smiley, the Rat, and Space Station last alive here. These are the 5 squads remaining.
Last 5 squads, and Oxygen Esports are still playing underneath this bridge. If they didn't pay the tax for the bridge, they're definitely paying it right now by getting pinged from across the water by the squad that holds on to the higher ground right now. Optic Gaming have the best position, but they have to ease their way into that next circle. Their first focus is going to be on Space Station, who are going to be able to wrap around, but they have a nice split focus on this high ground. 1 player to the left, 2 on the high ground right now. Oxygen Esports getting pinged by them off to the side.
Yeah, it's a tough rotate for Oxygen. Let's quickly jump into a listen and see if they can find some luck.
Where are we in?
Maybe waterfall.
The waterfall. Right side of waterfall. He's on strike. Me too.
Dead.
I was up. It's in on me.
Yeah, we're in all down the waterfall.
Drop me a med kit. I need a med kit.
You ready on
Dropping,
Be ready on somebody to drop.
Right here, flying, rapid flash. Nice.
Watch up there, I think.
ult cell.
Oh, no. You can check the body, check the body, check the body.
We might be able to climb up.
We're back. Oxygen. Wow, what a listening that was. They find themselves literally hiding under a waterfall, hoping to find some luck. Say don't go chasing waterfalls, but right now the waterfall's the only thing keeping them alive as we're on board with Optic Gaming versus Space Station on the high side.
3 squads left. Optic Gaming, Space Station, Oxygen Esports playing up the low ground. Optic Gaming, though, having low health. They need to have Noct help cover them, gives that suppressed fire. The Skyward Dive, though, coming in from the sky. It's Oxygen Esports. You heard them frantically saying that they needed a Skyward Dive, and they land right into the line of sight, and the open arms of Space Station. They put down the Gimme ult, or rather the Gimme Dome, and is it going to be enough? Because this is just going to be the green light for Optic Gaming to go in for the third party.
Yeah, this is opening things up for Optic Gaming to come right in. Chopping like a shark in the water is Optic, and they will eat everyone up. Every single minnow eliminated from this lobby. And Optic Gaming in a much-needed game number 2 performs with a win. What a showing from Optic.
Optic Gaming needed that, and they stood on the high ground the entire game too, and they got a lot of KP while they were at it. They were literally